Lead story tonight, the period for candidate substitutions has come to a close. Two Dutertes have signed up in the national race, but not for the same position and with different parties. Pederalismo ng Dugong Dakilang Samahan Senate aspirant Mona Liza Visorde pulled out her candidacy. Lawyer Melchor Aranas filed President Rodrigo Duterte's COC in her stead. Let's make sense of these political developments with Professor Dennis Coronacion. Professor, thank you so much for joining us. Over the weekend, we saw all of these series of substitutions, withdrawals among administration allies. Is this tantamount, in your view, to mocking or deceiving the people?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that I'm quite glad that this political drama has finally ended, because I'm quite sure that there's a good number of Filipinos who got confused and at the same time who got entertained with what unfolded over the weekend. Was it really a mockery of our democratic processes or elections? Well, we can think of it that way, but if we're going to look at it from another angle, I think we can say that it took, that the characters involved here, the political personalities involved here, took much longer time, to finalize their alliance. Well, unlike the other, the other tandems, which did not entail much longer time for them to finalize their tandem. For these specific candidates, BBM and Sara, let's take note that these are members of two of the most dominant political families in the Philippines. So they are literally political behemoths.
Right.
And for them to forge an alliance, I think they would have to talk about so many things and deal with so many details.
Yeah, but
because after all, come to think of it, they don't really need each other, because they have all the resources that they need, the manpower, the bailiwicks, the everything that's needed in running a national campaign.
But Professor Dennis, I'd just like to jump in here, no? Could this also be part of a big political strategy for the Marcoses, the Dutertes, and the Arroyos to control all the top national positions, the presidency, vice presidency, Senate President, and House Speaker?
Yes, it is possible, since historically speaking, our political landscape and even our political elections have been dominated and have been shaped by elite political families.
Mm-hmm. And if they control all the major positions, they can also change the Constitution and shift the form of government to federalism, which did not flourish under the Duterte administration.
Well, that's also possible if it is, in their agenda. If it's going to serve their interest, it's possible that federalism might be in their, list of top priorities once they have, won the top two positions after the elections.
Because with federalism, you'll be able to control the country beyond 2028. Because it will be more like a federalism / parliamentary type of system that is being pushed by the Duterte administration, which did not materialize over the past 6 years.
Yes, and if this happens, it's going to confirm the suspicion of so many Filipinos that federalism, although objectively speaking, it has its own merits and it has its own beauty. But on the other hand, many are suspicious that federalism might be used as an engine for further strengthening enhancing the domination of the political families and even the political dynasties in this country.
What are the chances now, Professor, of the opposition to stop these families from ruling for the next 6 years and beyond? Can they still unite and beat these families?
Well, at this point, I don't think that there's going to be, if we're talking of withdrawal of certain candidates, I think it's rather too late. But it's, it's not the end of the world for them. They can still, they can still win the elections, and all they have to do is to work hard and to recalibrate their campaign strategies based on the, based on the new political landscape. So now that we have an alliance that's made up of two political behemoths, they will definitely have to keep a watchful eye on this alliance. So their campaign strategies will have to be recalibrated based on, on the actions and based on what's happening in the camp of Sara Duterte and Bongbong Marcos.
Dennis Coronacion, thank you so much for joining us and for your insights on the 2022 national elections.